Hi everybody, it's Chaya Parkoff, licensed clinical social worker, and this is ParshaRx, mental health prescriptions from the weekly Torah portion. This week we begin the book of Shemot, and the Parsha is that same name, Shemot, and with it we witness the profound pain of Bnei Israel, the children of Israel in Egypt. The Torah tells us the children of Israel groaned under the bondage and cried out, and their cry for help from the bondage rose up to God. This verse is so powerful because it reminds us that healing often begins with a cry, a moment of honesty where we name our pain. Until this point, the Israelites' suffering had been silent and internalized. But when they cried out, something shifted. Their pain was no longer buried, it was heard. And that cry set the redemption in motion. In my work as a therapist and coach, I've seen how healing begins when someone feels safe enough to share what's inside. Often we carry pain in silence, feeling trapped or ashamed. Sometimes we don't even know what's going on inside, but we just know that something's not right. But when we give that pain a voice, it's as if a door opens. This is true not only in therapy, but also in our relationships, in community, and even in our connection with God. The Torah tells us that God heard their cry. He didn't dismiss it or ask why it took so long for them to cry out. He simply listened. And this is such a powerful model for us. Whether we're supporting others or reflecting on our own challenges, the act of listening with no judgment, just presence, can be transformative. In my work, especially when I'm doing brain spotting, my role mostly is being present and just holding that attunement with the client. It's amazing what happens. And then there's Moshe. When God calls him, Moshe is hesitant. Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, he asks. It's a moment of profound vulnerability. How often do we doubt our own ability to help, thinking, I'm not enough? I mean, Moses had a stutter. He was not an orator, and yet he was being chosen to go speak to Pharaoh. But what Moshe shows us is that it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, being willing to take the first step, and trusting that the process will unfold. Parshat Shemot reminds us that healing, whether personal or communal, starts with these 3 steps: naming our pain, or at least saying that we have pain, trusting that it can be heard and held, and third, being willing to take a step forward. Each of us can play a role in that process for ourselves and for others. Shabbat Shalom.